So we appreciate that information, buddy. You were awesome. Let's see. We're not going to get into Baron Sorrell tonight. I want to hit on something. This is kind of a touchy subject here. This Josh Jacobs interview that he did with the Pivot podcast. Yeah. I want to play the audio from this.
Is this talking about Ruggs?
Yeah, talking about it's Henry Ruggs, right?
Yep, Henry Ruggs. Yep.
So I want to say this before we talk about it. In no way, shape, or form am I trying to downplay or minimize the fact that a young lady lost her life in a horrible way from a horrible accident where Henry Ruggs was 100% responsible. Okay. Please don't take this the wrong way. But I want to point out the type of person that Josh Jacobs is. He played for the Raiders when that happened. And a lot of people don't know this, as he'll mention in this interview. He was supposed to go out with Ruggs that night. And people hear that and they go, immediately some folks go, why is he hanging around with people like that? Like Henry Ruggs is this horrible person, right? When I first heard it, I thought the same thing. Like, man, get this asshat right here. Like, how stupid are you? Like, I was really, really bad about it, really hard on it, The reality is street racing like that, reckless driving, which is essentially what he was doing. How many times have you seen people texting and driving?
Yep.
And this is going to get a little heavy, but this is my opinion.
Hey, you're preaching to the choir. Texting and driving, drinking while driving, smoking the devil's lettuce while driving, whatever.
If you look down at your phone and you're sending a text and you hit somebody and killed them, right? You're going to prison the same way that Henry Ruggs did.
Yep.
People make stupid decisions and it costs people their lives, right?
Negligence. It's negligence.
It's exactly what it is.
You didn't wake up and decide to go take someone's life, but your negligence caused somebody to lose their life. And that's what we're looking at here, right?
But you got to pay the piper, man. When you do something stupid like that, you got to pay the piper. So we're going to play this clip from the Turn podcast. And the thing immediately.
Look at that screen grab right there. Oh,
yeah,
beautiful.
He's a dog. So the reason I wanted to play this, and this is what I put in the tweet. I said, Packers running back Josh Jacobs is such a real dude. You can just tell he's that friend who's going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. I love that he went to Ruggs' click. Like, what the F are y'all doing?
Yep.
Because people said, well, why does he hang out with people like that? That's not the point of this whole thing. The point is, if he had been out with Ruggs, it would not have happened.
Wouldn't have happened. Yep.
He wouldn't have let it happen.
And the whole reason he was probably making that effort was because he wanted to be a positive example and maybe saw the guys that he was surrounding himself with and wanted to be a positive influence in his life. And, regardless of what happened, he's still going to do that, right? Like you said, it's a testament to who Josh Jacobs is. And if you don't know Josh Jacobs' backstory, please do your research, because that guy comes from very humble beginnings and understands what it's like to struggle and have to, claw tooth and nail to get to where you're at, and just how easily you can lose it all too. So I think that's why he was trying to just be not only a good teammate, but just a good man, a good person,
right?
And be there for somebody. Yep.
And it goes hand in hand with like the Kyren Lacy situation. If you guys haven't heard, Kyren Lacy, that tragedy that happened a few weeks ago, right before the draft. People are, Kyren Lacy's a thug. He's this, he's that. Listen, he did not make good decisions. There's no two ways about it. But when you hear Brian Kelly, who I'm not a big fan of Brian Kelly, LSU's head coach, you guys know, Notre Dame fan, just the way he operated at Notre Dame. I'm not a big fan of Brian Kelly, but he pointed out before this tragedy even happened that Kyren Lacy's a kid that had a rough upbringing. He can't control his emotions, and he didn't want to turn his back on him. He wanted to try to help him. He wanted to try to help him through life. I remember Nick Saban talking about a player at Bama, and people were like so quick to, he's a thug. He made a stupid decision. Get him out of here. Kick him off. Why didn't you kick him off the team? And Nick Saban's like, listen, if we kick him off the team, he goes back to the hood where he grew up, and his life doesn't get any better. Yep. And Saban made the point of like, I'm supposed to be in his life to help him, and I'm going to turn my back on him like that. So again, I think that's the area That's the place that Josh Jacobs is coming from with this comment. And I came out with nothing but respect for him. But I'm going to play it here real quick. Again, this is on the Pivot podcast. And I'm not a big fan of Ryan Clark. I'm not. But I thought this was a really good conversation, and kudos to them. Definitely want to give credit. This was on his Twitter account that he posted this video. That's where we're pulling it from. But here's the audio of him talking to Josh Jacobs. About 2.5 minutes long. I think it's worth the listen.
It made me think about Henry Ruggs. You know, an Alabama guy. I saw somewhere that he could be getting out within a year. I mean, you were there in Las Vegas. How difficult was that to deal with as a teammate and a friend, to see someone have to go through what Henry was going through, which was in many ways self-inflicted?
You see, I got goosebumps, bro. You brought that up. I still talk to Henry. So Henry still called me. We still, like, you know, I'm still help him out and all of them type of things. His wife and his daughter, like all of that. Like we still connected. I know his whole family. You know, he's from Alabama. He played with me at Bama. His mama and them taught me how to bowl. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's real love on a deeper level when it comes to Ruggs. And the sad part about it was we talked about going out that night. It wasn't nowhere crazy. We went to Topgolf. You feel me? Like he literally told me, he was like, man, you coming? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go. It got late. I'm like, man, I'm not gonna step. And then I'm getting woken up to my lawyers calling me, like, tell Ruggs we got him. We gonna represent him. I'm like, what you talking about? And then I'll go on social media and I'm like, whoa. So the first thing that happened to me, I'm like, bro, it ain't no way. So I instantly get mad. And then when I start finding out more about the story and like how, you know, they were supposedly racing, I'm like, who was he with? But he was with his family. So I went to his house. I had some words with some people over there. And I'm just like, man, like, y'all gotta understand, bro. Like, he the breadwinner of the family. He the one changing all of y'all life, everybody. You know what I'm saying? And then not only that, he's a good kid. He's never been in trouble. I've never seen him do nothing crazy. Like, he was just one of them guys that had a very, very unfortunate situation and something happened, a decision that he made. You know, and that's what hurt me the most, because I'm like, man, he ain't somebody that you would look at and be like, bro, you deserve this to happen to you. You know, like, I'm like, man, like, so for me, it hurt a lot, but keeping up with him, man, and hearing him talk, it brings me spirits, because he always positive. He's positive about everything, man. Like, he's training. They let him train and things like that. So I'm like, you come out, man, I don't know if you will get a chance. I've been talking to some people for him. Like, they've been saying that a couple of teams is willing to give him a chance. I'm like, when you get that chance, man, you better not ever, don't look back. Don't look back, and prove to yourself and prove to everybody that one decision don't define you and who you are as a man. You know, and that was my biggest thing for real when it came to Ruggs.
So the people that I wanted to mention it, because the people that are like coming at Josh Jacobs for having his buddy's back, the easy thing to do in that situation is separate yourself.
Away. Yep, walk away. Look at all of Diddy's friends right now, right?
Right. I don't know you. I don't got nothing to do with you, right? To me, that's being a coward.
Yep, that's the easy road.
Yeah. The fact that he's making sure that his wife and his kids taken care of, and you know, like they said, again, I don't know Ruggs. He may be a horrible person. I'm just basing this simply off of what Josh Jacobs is saying about the dude. I know this. What he did was horrible.
Yep.
Like, and again, it sound, when you hear the end result, you think, what a horrible person. But that could happen to anybody. Anybody who's ever sped in a car, anybody who's ever gotten into a car with, you know, more than a couple drinks in you. And I know the holy rollers are out there going, I've never done that. There's plenty of people that it could have happened to. And you could have taken somebody's daughter's life, somebody's son's life, could have, you know, harmed somebody in your family that's in the car with you. Like we talked about the texting and driving, I'm as guilty as anyone. Man, you kidding me? If I'm going down the road and it's a 3-mile stretch of straight road, ain't nothing for me to try to want to pick up my phone and send a text. But the reality is, if you hit somebody there, your ass is going to prison. Yep. That's the law, right? So I got a lot more respect for Josh Jacobs, because it would have been the easy. My mind immediately, Tim, went to, like I said, Coach Nick Saban talking about that player, like, you know, what am I supposed to do? Turn my back on this kid after I sat in his living room and told his family, I'm going to take care of your son and I'm going to help him become a man while he's in college. And now when you get a little bit of adversity, you're just going to turn your back on him. So it's just such a tough situation, because if it had been my wife or my daughter, and I don't have kids, you know, Lord didn't bless us with kids, I can only imagine the rage that would go through me if someone took, you know, someone like that I care about's life. But I got a lot of respect for Josh Jacobs. And I wanted to play that because I'm just so damn proud that he's a Green Bay Packer, man. For however long he's in Green Bay, what a blessing he is to his team. He's a leader, and he's just someone who's going to have his teammates' backs and try to do the right thing. And like you said, man, humble beginnings.
Yep.
I think they lived out of a car for a little bit, didn't they? They were homeless for a couple
cars, hotels, sleeping on the floor, you know, just him and his siblings and his father. Look up Josh Jacobs' backstory. I mean, that's a guy who's been there and understands, you know, what coming from next to nothing and making it to the upper echelons of, you know, fame and fortune, and, you know, being one of the top. I mean, let's be real. He's top 5 running back in the National Football League, arguably, when it's all said and done. And that's probably why he has the character that he has. It's ingrained in who he is and, you know, how he came up. And I think he probably sees himself in a lot of these younger players and wants to be, like I said, it's beyond being just a good teammate and a good example. It's just being a good human being, you know. Unfortunately, you know, good people make bad choices all the time, man. You know, you can make a mistake, do something stupid, and you know, it doesn't mean you're a bad person. It means you made a bad choice. And I think I have a lot of respect for Josh Jacobs just for you know, having Ruggs' back, you know. Like, you know, you talk about Henry Ruggs, he's 26 or something like that.
Crazy.
So, you know, he's got a couple years of, you know, time he's got to serve. He's going to be up for parole, I believe, as early as next year. So, you know, why throw his life away too? You know, and that's why I like what Josh Jacobs said. He's like, hey, if you get another shot, you know, we're going to bat for you. Stay in shape, you know, do what you can to get back. You could be 27, 28 and still play in the NFL maybe, and, you know, finish your career out. But you can't look back, and you can't screw up that second chance if you're lucky enough to get one, you know. And you know, without people like that in your life, sometimes guys they make one mistake and it's over with, because nobody goes to bat and nobody is there for them. So it speaks to Josh Jacobs' character for sure.
Yeah. And Chris Henn's, you know, talking about in the chat how he's had a couple different incidents that you know, kind of changed the course of his life, and luckily he didn't hurt anybody. And I'm sure you think back on it all the time, don't you, Chris? Like, God, it could have been so much worse. You know, I lost my brother this past year. You guys have heard me talk about that last June, and he was someone who, I'm telling you, man, if it hadn't been for him, whew, he gave me a place to go when I was into stuff that I should not have been into. Honestly, I buried way too many friends, overdoses and everything else. And if it hadn't been for my brother going, hey, as soon as you graduate high school, if you want to get out of that town and come down here and live with me, I'll get you a job and get you on your feet.
Yep.
That's why, you know, we were always so close. He prevented that type of stuff, me slipping into things. And even with that, even with the best guidance like that, Tim, still made stupid ass decisions all the time. Like as a 20, you know, 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old, it was just constantly him going, hey, knucklehead, what are you doing? You know, why are you out till 4 a.m.? You know, stuff like that.
Yep.
He knew what I was doing. But as my mom, as Mama Betty always said, if it ain't happened by 11 o'clock, it ain't gonna happen. Get on home. All right. That's what she always, best advice I've ever got. Yep. J. Cole says the self-righteous stuff is ridiculous today. It's on Ruggs and Lacey to ask the Most High for forgiveness. You're right, Clayton. Touchy subject. Yeah. And that's at the end of the day, that's what matters. And again, going to the young lady's family too, and doing the right thing there. Like, hey, I know I can't bring her back, but is whatever I can do to, you know, let you know how sorry I am. And you know, that I would kind of hope that a situation would end like that with the family giving those stories choke me up when someone does something absolute. Like I've heard of the stories of people, you know, in a murder case and the family standing on trial and saying, I forgive you. that stuff is just like, man.
That's only God speaking through you can bring you that kind of forgiveness and that kind of strength, man, for sure.
Yeah. Braden in the chat says, hope Jacobs takes Golden under his wing. Similar upbringings, real dudes. I'll tell you another one too, Braden. Look at that. There you go. I love it. Another guy in that locker room that many people don't want to acknowledge that I think he emerged as the leader of the wide receiver room is Christian Watson. The way he handled the Romeo Doubs situation, I'm in the camp. I want Christian Watson back. I want him to prove he's healthy in November and sign him to an extension. That's what I want. I want Jayden Reed, Matthew Golden, Christian Watson, and Savion Williams on the field with Tucker Kraft at all times. That's what I want. That's what I want to see. And you got Josh Jacobs as well into that mix. But Christian Watson handled that perfect. He didn't defend Romeo. He was like, Romeo knows he screwed up, and I got his back, and we're friends. But, like, he handled it like a leader. So you get Matthew Golden in that room with Christian Watson and Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs is like toward the top now. I consider Josh Jacobs more of the team leader than Jordan Love, me personally. And that's not a knock on Jordan. Jordan's a great leader, I think. But Josh Jacobs is that dude in that locker room like, hey, you guys can lean on me. And I just love that clip. I thought that was phenomenal by him. So anyway, that's it. We're over on time. I wanted to touch that. And again, there you go. The Golden Child.
The Golden Child. Remember that movie?
I do remember that now. I love it. So I just wanted to hit that a little bit because, it's obviously that's more than football, but just to kind of increase the level of appreciation for Josh Jacobs and the guy that's on the team,
Yep.
I think it's pretty cool. And it goes hand in hand. I was reading the comments and we couldn't hit them all, but there was people in there going like, this is Goody and LaFleur. They're building this team. We always talk about we're not collecting talent. We're building a team. They're building this nucleus of guys that want to be here and are hungry and they want to work for each other. And that's why when you have incidents like Romeo Doubs or maybe even a Jair Alexander, sometimes that stuff sticks out like a sore thumb. And it doesn't mean they can't change and get on board, right? But train's leaving the station, man. This is a team, and you either get on board with what we're doing as a team collectively or let's move along. And again, that's why when Romeo Doubs came back from the suspension, to see everybody gravitate toward him was really cool. You could tell there was forgiveness on the team if there was any wrongdoing. And I don't think we'll ever know the true story, Tim. I don't, nor should we. That was left in the locker room where it needed to be. He served his 1-game suspension and got back on the team. I personally don't think he's going to be a part of the long-term future of the Packers, me personally. I could be wrong, though.
Yeah. But like you said, though, it's important to, if the team's going to, make the decision to move on, right? They addressed it. They dealt with it in-house, right? Family business stays in-house. We don't air our dirty laundry in front of everyone. So we may not know the specifics, but we do know that it's behind them, right? And we're moving forward. But, that being said, I'm probably in your camp there, Clay. I think, all bets are down. If it's either Rome or Scoot, it's probably going to be Scoot. And Rome will probably play ball somewhere else,
It'll probably be a 1-year extension too, kind of a prove-it extension for Christian Watson.
Right. Coming off injury. Yeah.
Give him a little bit of extra guaranteed money in a 1-year prove-it deal. Like that'll make it more appealing than trying to hit free agency and prove, hey, I'm healthy. Because he's only going to get a couple of months unless we go on a Super Bowl run, to prove that he is healthy. If you get that 1-year bridge and he's healthy, then give him the extension and you're good. Your wide receiver room's good for years to come, Yep. But with Romeo, it's just kind of, again, just reading the tea leaves and going off the snap count and in terms of deployment in the wide receiver room last year, they were trying to work Dontavion Wicks into that X position.
Oh, yeah.
So kind of feels like the writing's on the wall there. But again, you never know, though, man.
I just caught the ball.
He may go out, ball out this year and get an extension. I'd be okay with that too. So,
yep.
All right. That's it, guys. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us. Tomorrow we will get to some of the other topics. We may do the Savion Williams chalk talk tomorrow. We were going to do it tonight, but I tried to steer the show in the direction that the chat was going, all that good stuff. So we'll try to hit some more. We're going to get into Baron Sorrell too. I'd like to do a chalk talk on him soon. We got his draft spotlight ready to go as well. It's something that Dane Brugler said that was really, really cool. I wanted to play for you guys and gals. So we'll be back tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central for PTA Live. To the best of my knowledge, if something changes, I'll let y'all know. But we will plan on doing another show tomorrow night. And who knows, we might do one Saturday morning too. We'll see how it goes. I've been needing to sleep in here lately, Tim. But, of course, I can do a 9:30 show and sleep in, you know.
There you go. I'm with it. I'll get up. I'll be ready to go.
All right. Greg Rice hits a nail on the head here. He says, the chat is a rudderless ship. Yes, it is. All right, everybody have a great night. Again, check out the Patreon group. It's the best way to support the show. $3 get you everything on the site. And it's just, like I said, a way for us to give back to you guys who are giving to the show and give you some extra content that's exclusive there in the Patreon group. Chuck Jagger says we need comp picks for AFAM. You know what? This would be one of those deals where you take teams take cap space off your hands, Tim. You know what I mean? I would give somebody a second-round pick to take AFAM off our hands. That's what I would say. So I just don't have the
don't give it to Kansas City.
Exactly. All right. Appreciate everybody. Hit that like button on the way out. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Y'all have a